how are you balancing the overwhelming feeling you're describing with the criticism? Like from time to time, you have to deal with the haters and people saying things and whatever those things may
It's like
be.
from
Like,
time to time on a daily basis. Come
yeah,
on.
well,
The internet is
yeah,
a garbage fire. We know
well,
this.
yeah. Sometimes it's worse than others, though. Like like it just is. Like, how do you balance that? Are you able to balance it? Is it a struggle? Like, how's it working for you?
I think I have a pretty healthy balance. Like, obviously, again, human over here. So there are some times when, like, I'll already be having like a bad day or something will already be going wrong. And, I'll just come across that one comment or someone will send me like, a video talking about my body. And it's like that wrong day and it like really hits home. And those days are difficult, but I have to always remember that there are so many I get so many good messages compared to, like, the really bad ones, like and b by bad, it's, like, just like, things that are cruel. Like, the gross sexual things, the things about my feet, at this point, comedy. They just, like it does not even faze me anymore. But the ones that are just pinpointing something about, like, my body, my weight, my musculature, those things, those hit home on those, like, certain days, but it's easy to remind myself of, like, the good that's going on, but I always try to remind myself that if you've got haters, then, like, you're making it, like, there's a whole point if, like, people aren't talking about you, like, you're not doing things correctly, and I always like to just, like, think about, like, while I do not agree with everything that the Kardashians stand for, so many people wanna throw hate their way. So many people wanna throw hate their way about, like, how their bodies look, about how much Botox or filler or, like, whatever, like, they get. But, the majority of the people who wanna talk so much shit about those women would, in a second, do all of the things that they could do if, like, some magic genie was just like, "I'm gonna gift all of these things for free. Would you like it?" And they'd be like, yeah, 100%. 100% make my skin look like that, make my hair look like that, make my lips look like that." So, it's one of those things where when people are talking out of their ass with hate, it stems from, like, insecurities and jealousy, and so I just remind myself about that, and if anyone has anything, like, bad to say about me spreading positivity in women's bodies, like, they've got something so incredibly fucked up in their own life, in their own heads, so it's easy. It takes a second where I'm like, "Oh, that hurt, that sucked," and then I'm like, "Oh, they're probably miserable." Going on with my day. Mhm.
I'd be interested to hear from both of you on this because I feel like in the last few weeks I've seen a lot of commentary, and this isn't just about women's bodies; it's just about internet posting in general. That if you post something, anything, in this case, we'll stick to the topic of women's bodies. That if you post something, everyone should be allowed to comment. That seems to be the prevailing mindset. So, like, if I post something, someone should be able to come back at me with their opinion and blast me for it. And I think is a huge group of people that will look at your feed and go, "Oh, Danny's wearing a pumpkin head and a bikini. Now I can say anything the hell I want." Right? Like, as a woman, like, how do you navigate that? Like, it I don't know. As a guy, I'm never gonna have to come up against this, mostly because 'cause I'll never wear a bikini and a pumpkin head, but besides that,
You
You
should.
I
You
really should.
Oh,
I told
especially now with those abs, John,
Oh, it would be
yeah,
awesome,
you should.
wouldn't
You
it?
definitely
It would be a great look,
You know
but,
what, though? I take that back. You should do it at any size.
Yes.
well, look,
Any size.
I just think it's a tough conversation, like,
Yes.
between as a guy, like, I look at those photos and go, "Damn, Dana looks good," but then there's the other side of me that goes, "Is that appropriate?" You
Ah,
follow what I'm saying?
interesting.
Like, it's a tough thing to navigate as a guy, and then, to your point, Danny, there are plenty of guys out there that are saying kinda really horrible things too, and so that's, like, kind of the easy thing to go, "Yeah, that guy's an asshole."
Uh, I think fundamentally, the thought that, "Oh, this is on the internet, and now I have the right to say whatever I want about it," is so, like that's, like, the weirdest, like, self-serving mindset to have. It's the weirdest entitled mindset to have where you don't have the right, quote unquote, or you shouldn't be able to like, quote unquote, post about or do about or whatever, anything. Like just because it's online does not give you the unalienable right to to post your hateful verbiage on it one way or another. That's like saying if someone says something out loud, now I'm allowed to respond with whatever vitriol I want because it's out in the ether. That doesn't make any sense. So I think that fundamentally, the people who do that have a weird, entitled
Well,
view of the internet in general. Um, but I also think that there's how do I say this? Like the mindset of just, you know, not being a total asshole. And if you don't like something, skip on by, my friend. And if you think something is inappropriate, skip on by, my friend. There's a lot of things out here in this world that are for a lot of different people, and not everything's going to be for you. And that's
yeah,
okay. That's
yeah.
totally okay. But just in general, I don't understand how we as a society sort of decided together that it's not okay to be a total dick about something to someone's face, but online all of a sudden it is. Like, I really don't understand where that switch ever happened, whether you agree with it or not, whether you like it or not. Healthy discussion is always one thing, but like just being a total asshole, I don't know. I don't understand where it came from. I don't know if that answers your question.
I mean, I agree. I think, obviously everyone free speech. Everyone can you can say what you want to say. I think it just shows character when you get onto someone's feed and you want to just spread nothing but hate. And people can say cruel things. Like that's one thing. The ones that get to me are when someone will say something cruel, and I see it in my comments all the time, and someone will kind of clap back to that person. And that person, the male, I'm going to say it, it's always the men. It's always the men. They want to come back with, well, she decided to put that up on the internet. She's dressed that way. She's asking for it.
Huh?
And I think that mindset, it doesn't matter that it's just online. It is so incredibly dangerous that there are so many men out there who truly believe that because I'm posting pictures where you can see a lot of my skin, that it's not for empowerment and being like, hey, ladies, be proud of what you have. Like, you've worked so hard on this body and you only get one and you're with it your whole life. If you've put a lot of time into being happy with your body, you can do whatever you want with it. You can show it off. You can help inspire other people. You can do what you want. That does not mean that you're asking for vulgar language. It definitely does not mean you're asking for physical, like, attention at all. And that's the thing, that's the turning point for me, is you can say whatever you want. If you wanna just be cruel, let it eat away at your own soul. It's not gonna affect me. But when we allow the mindset to continue within men that if some girl is doing X, Y, or Z, she is therefore asking for something. And I think it's just dangerous. Like that's where I kind of I I think that's the cutoff. And I think those are the ones you have to pay attention to. And like to your point, Nikki, like a lot of these people who say these kind of things are all talk, no walk. Like in person, they would never have the balls to say any of this stuff, but online, they get to take some control of their life, but they have none in
Mhm.
their life, obviously. They're probably stuck in a dead-end job with no power or, it's one of those it just is. It's like how it is. If you're gonna go spread hate on the internet, you've got some fucked up shit going on in your own life. So,
Yeah.
figure that out before you wanna come into my feed and get mad because I'm, wearing a pumpkin on my head. Like, go
Yep.
fuck off.